right, welcome back everybody. You're with us here at Cape Rugby TV. Lots of activity happening now in the, call it the moments before the top six in the Promotion League and the Challenge Cup. Alistair, do you feel like it's at that stage now where we're about to switch off from the league and people are now switching on already for Promotion League, Challenge Cup? The conversation is changing.
Yeah, conversation I think has changed over the past week and a bit.
Yeah.
You know, those who's targeted the top six, you know, they're prepping for that top six, and there's places that's been secured already in the A, B, and C league. You know, same with the Challenge Cup guys are looking tight on top. You know, so we sort of got an idea of who's going to be placed now going into this last week.
Yeah, so let's quickly take a look here, folks, at the results then in Super League A, and then we're going to bring you the game. Kells River went down to St. George's over the weekend, 43-34. It was a draw for Hamilton's against False Bay. You'll see that game in a second. And then, of course, Stellenbosch, they played against Helderberg this weekend. It was a win for Marties. Durban with a win over UWC, and Tygerberg went down to UCT. Here we go. This is Hamilton's versus False Bay. Hammies have got a home ground advantage. All right, folks, there we go. Hamilton's and False Bay. False Bay leading 7-0. Alistair, so advantage there to False Bay at half-time, playing at Hamilton's. I must say, False Bay really have come out in the last few weeks and started making a statement.
Yeah, they got a young side there with a bit of experience in it, but just looking at that game, you know, that first half they played really, really well, very direct. The conditions weren't great at all. Yeah. It looked like the wind was blowing the players over. That's how strong the wind was.
The wind was really. There were a couple of guys doing some kicking there, and the ball looked like it was going backwards at one stage.
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's take a look at the second half. This is Hamilton's hosting False Bay. Luke Jacobs there doing a little breakaway that we didn't quite see finish the last a few segments or seconds of the game there, Alistair. But final result, a draw, 17-all, Falls by Hamilton's. It means, pretty much Hamilton's put on most of the points in the second half.
Yeah, it looks like they topped it by 7 points in the second half. But it was a very physical game in that second half, very direct, but quite a bit of errors from Hamilton's side as well early in that second half.
So I was going to go there now. I mean, I know that the field's slippery, the wind is blowing, but when the conditions are like that, it's even more important that you got to keep the ball close.
Yeah, you'll play a bit tighter, keep the ball more close in hand. Just play a tighter game basically.
Yeah, Robert Willeyfield, I think would have been a little bit disappointed with some of the
errors.
Some of the errors there. You've got, obviously you can't at this stage afford to make any mistakes. But having said that, Hamilton's and False Bay, we'll take a look at the log in a second when we come back from the break. But they'll be happy with the fact that they can rest comfortably now in terms of one more game, 2 more games left, and they've secured themselves in the top 6.
In the top 6, yeah. I think that will give them a bit of ease of mind.
Yeah. All right, folks. As we mentioned earlier on, we had a lot of women's rugby at City Park this weekend. We're going to take a look at that after the break. 18 teams from across Western Province took to the field in very cold conditions and stormy conditions, but it did not stop at all or put a damper on the rugby at City Park, as our women's teams were out there and just having as much fun as possible. We'll take an ad break. Don't go away. Back in a sec.